think about I think about something like the Cosby Show. And I think about how there were as many people watching the Cosby Show on Thursdays, and they would get for Super Bowls, football Super Bowls every year. That's a fact. That's not me just talking. Every Thursday, black people or people around the country would sit down to watch the Cosby Show because it was such a good show. Because it showed a family, a father, a mother, and children. It showed discipline, certain types of way, disciplining people, a good family, professional black people. We were proud of that show. And we don't have that on television anymore. All we get is reality TV, which is people acting like batshit crazy with no
Yeah.
home training, yelling at each other, fighting, screaming, doing ridiculous stuff. We don't have things like the Cosby Show, or not even just the Cosby Show. I mean, you can go back to some of the, we're all old enough to remember Good Times. We're old enough to remember, Sanford and Son. Yeah, I mean, Red Fox and those guys, they were poor, they were junk men, but they had qualities, they had respect for each other. They were hardworking men, black men. And those type of shows we don't have anymore. And that's what I mean when I talk about image. We don't control our image because the majority of people who put us on TV don't share our reflection, don't share our morals, don't share our values. We need to have companies that are owned by us, operated by us, to ensure that the image that we're putting out there is the image that we want our young folks to see. And I just wanted to bring that in because I talked about, I know a lot of people don't like Bill Cosby, but I respect the man. I mean,
Mm.
I respect the fact that Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show had a social scientist on there to ensure that there wasn't a single negative image about black people that came across in that TV show. I know the Bill Cosby that paid for, the acoustic system. And when Dr. Martin Luther King presented at the I Have a Dream speech, the system, the microphone and all that acoustic system there was paid for by Bill Cosby. I remember the Bill Cosby that created the Black Stuntman Association in Hollywood because Hollywood was taking white people, putting blackface on them to do our stunts. And Bill Cosby was like, what the hell? He
Yeah.
created a Black Stuntman organization in Hollywood to ensure that Black stuntmen got the credit they were supposed to get. That's what I'm talking about as far as image. Black men stepping out and saying, I'm going to be the leader to ensure that our people get a fair shot. So I just wanted to say that. I apologize for interrupting, but I thought that was important.
Go ahead, Mark.
You know, and that's wonderful what you were saying about the Cosby Show. I mean, one wonderful show. It was a good show that really portrayed a black family in a different, different light. And so, I mean, to me, I didn't see anything like that growing up. Seeing two professionals in the family, educated. So it to me, it was a wonderful show. I think the other thing too with media is image. I think a lot of times that we have a lot of our younger folks that idolize a lot what they see, TV, radio, a lot of the rapping, not to take anything away from rap music, but one day I had to tell my son he had his pants hanging down, below. I just,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I told him that, your pants are supposed to be worn on your waist, not below. And so I think that we have lost a sense in somehow, I mean, in some ways of how we dress. Even when you look at the time with Martin Luther King, even back then, you could see that the younger folks were dressing a lot better than what our folks are dressing today. And I think Martin Luther King's vision would have been for us to have that kind of image of walking around, with pants hanging all off our behinds. Um, he would want us to be presentable, and that's why sometimes we get stereotyped because just by the things we wear. Like my son was getting ready for an interview, and he was going to wear a T-shirt, and I was like, "No,
Yeah,
you need to
exactly.
put on a shirt and you need to put on a tie and represent."
Regardless of what the interview was for,
Yes,
you still got to represent yourself.